Hey there everyone, welcome to the So You Wanna Tank series Halls of Atonement edition. So this series has been going over very well, and today we're going to break down mob by mob kind of what goes down in Halls of Atonement, what you need to watch out for as a tank, and things like that. So with the group that I have here was a guild run. I asked the Demon Hunter to imprison the Houndmaster that's padding, because we are going to go to the left and we're going to grab this shard and we're going to lust that. Here, there is a few casts you want to kick. The Depraved Collectors have a Collect Sins cast, which will create these animated sins that are not fun to deal with in large groups. So try and kick stun those collective sin casts as much as you can. The Shard of Halkias does a Sin Quake, where he puts the things on the ground as well that you want to avoid, which I did not there. And he also does a Thrash, which will deal heavy physical damage to a lot of people. So here we're going to pull this. I knew our group was okay, so we're pretty good there. The Obliterators have the Curse of Obliteration, which you really want to deal with. Now that Demon Hunter I'm running with, just he's so geared and just rips threat from me constantly. It's hilarious. But aside from that, they're going to spam Wicked Bolts. Not exactly the funnest thing to deal with. If you have any magic mitigation, deal with that. But the Curse of Obliteration is really what you want to kick there. And those Depraved Dark Blades have a Deadly Thrust, which will deal full damage to everybody within the group. Whoever is in front, it's a frontal, so please watch out for that. These Gargant and Houndmaster packs. Now, these are the things you really got to watch out for. So the Houndmasters at below 50%... we'll do a cast called Loyal Beast. It's unkickable, but it is CCable, and you really want to make sure that you have a CC or something to stop that cast from going off, because it will enrage the Gargants. Now, the Gargants themselves are not to be screwed with. They put these bleeds on you that are very much unfun to deal with in higher keys, and in the higher keys that you go, it is very much okay to kite those Gargants and work around them, because you don't want many stacks of those bleeds. They really hurt. So here we're just going to deal with the Obliterator, which is another one of those casts. The Curse of the excuse me, Curse of Suppression is what you want to kick, and just another one of those. These Toil Groundkeepers are pretty easy DPS and pretty easy percentage. So if you have a light pole in your route, you might want to look around and see if you can add a pack of the Toil's Groundkeepers. They do physical damage, but it's not too bad. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to deal with. On bursting week, they do add those the danger of bursting, so watch out for that. But honestly, it's not too bad. So here, what I'm doing is I'm going to bring in these Obliterators in a second, but I'm just losing all threat here. But luckily the Demon Hunter knows how to kite, and we're just gonna work there. Now the Stoneborn that our Venthyr monk, Mistweaver monk took. So here that Loyal Beast cast actually did go off. So this Gargant is enraged. Now I do have quite a bit of, like, I had runic power generation and everything going, so I'm fine. They can be soothed out of it, so soothes are very nice to have here. And what I decided to do here after pulling those two is to bring in the Toiled Groundkeeper into the fold. Sometimes what I'll do, if it's the Incinerator here, I'd work it just a little bit of a different way, but aside from, it's really not that big of a deal which way you want to do it. That Collect Sins cast got kicked right at the last second. Good stuff. There's the Sin Quake. You want to move out of it. Mistweavers are really good for bursting, because they can just revival right out of it. It's really nice. And there's that Thrash cast. In higher keys, it's really something that you want to watch out for and be prepared for. Group defensives, things like that. If you have any off heals or utility, then really good to deal with that. But we're gonna skip Executioner Varuth here, because in 9.2 he is not going to be there. So up next, my philosophy is I do not like to deal with more than one Houndmaster pack at a time. So I'm gonna pull these through, and I lost my stacks of Bone Shield even though I was hitting it. I've been experiencing that weird lag lately where I'm hitting the button but it doesn't actually go off, but that is what it is. it's just, again, watch out for the Depraved Houndmaster's Loyal Beast and the Curse of Suppression. Kind of watch where you tank the Dark Blade for that Deadly Thrust. You just saw that go off. It is something you can sidestep right at the last second, but you do not want that going into the DPS. So watch out where you're going through there. The good old BDK healing and Mistweaver Monk throughput saves the day there. But aside from that, really not complicated. Just take it easy. Halls of Atonement is one of those things where the dungeon timer is not lenient at all, so you do have to try and find creative pulls. And doing 2 Houndmasters at once is not fun. So again, try and add Toil's Groundkeepers or the little Obliterator Darkblade packs or things like that as you go through. So we're going to get this Stoneborn here. I'm going to use it to refresh my Bone Shield stacks very, very quickly. And then we're going to go through and take and work with this Shard of Halkias pack. Again, with all these Obliterators and Collectors, you do want to watch out for things to kick, the Collect Sins, Curse of Suppression. There's a nice little mix of things that you really want to watch out for. At the start of this poll, I did not have my stuff, so I think I'm going to save it. But with the Stoneborn, it goes really, really well, and it's not that big of a problem. Group kicks, group CCs are very, very nice there. And the less Collect Sins casts go off, the less ads you actually have to deal with. But we dealt with that very, very well, and then we're going to move on over to the next pack afterwards. Trying to mount after bursting is always such a fun thing. So here, I made a mistake. It did not end up costing anything but a little bit more time. We actually did not need this Toiling Groundskeeper pack, but my DPS like to go burr, so they went burr. That's really what it is at the end of the day. They like to go off and see their numbers go up, and why not indulge them from time to time. But if you see this red circle around someone, so around here, it is around our Shaman. That is that Curse of Suppression. You want to watch out for that and just not be around it. But you see, you know, our Mage shot up, our Shaman shot up, and our, like, big numbers, big numbers. DPS having a lot of fun, which is, you know, what they like to do. So let's let them enjoy their fun. This pack here can be a little bit dangerous. You do want to watch it out, but it's not too bad. Now, it is okay to kite, okay? We are in a kiting meta, and I know a lot of tanks like to just face tank everything, and most of the time you can kind of get away with it with proper defensive use, right? But if you have a lot of stacks of those bleeds, it's okay to kite these Gargans, man. If you see them get big, run away. There's literally nothing wrong with it. So on this first boss here, we're holding Lust no matter what. I'm going to go over and grab this Loyal Stoneborn and range DPS, or Mage beat me to it, range DPS can actually go grab the one over there. So that's where our Monk is going. I think he can hit it with Crackling Jade Lightning or whatever, have you not? And you can double up on these Stoneborns. So what we're going to do is I'm going to double up on these two here. And what you have to do is you have to get them close together and spam the button. You cannot get 3. We've tried. Might be a way that I don't know of. if you know a way to get 3 at once, let us know. And we're going to let the Stoneborns do all of the damage. So Halkias does a few abilities. Number 1 being the Crumbling Slam, which is something that's going to hit you and you want to get out of the way. Heavy Debris is going to fall randomly on a DPS player. So what I do here is I stack them in the back and move. And if you are in, like, see here, I tell my DPS, get out of the way, because it gonna hurt if you are standing on me. So then after 3, I will start moving. So this is my 3rd. I'm going to move him out. So you see how we still have all of this floor space available and all of those in the back that we don't need to work. If you get outside of this circle, it will fear you and you will run off into oblivion and probably pull mobs. It's not fun. And on the 4th Crumbling Slam, I will really move out. I'm going to get this Stoneborn because my other 2 Stoneborns are gone. And I got it right at the last second before I had to move. And then this is just the Refracted Sinlight, so it's just a quadrant. Stay out of the beams. Very, very easy. But the Stoneborns can do a lot of damage for you and make this pull a lot easier. It's actually better to lust the second boss than it is to lust the first one. especially because you don't have any of these Stoneborns that you can really work with most of the common routing of Halls of Atonement. There are some up top, but pretty much everybody just skips it anyway, and that's basically it. That's the fight. Not difficult. He does hit like a truck, but every 3 to 4 crumbling slams. So my rule of thumb is every 3 crumbling slams, move him somewhere to safety. So then that way you have plenty of room to move around the refracted sunlight. This is the most common skip in the game, aside from the one in Necrotic Wake, where you just literally skip this entire second floor and go on up. You just don't want to deal with all this stuff. It's, you know, everything like that. Now, you only need 80% going up. I pulled an extra pack of Toil's Groundkeepers. That's that mistake I had made earlier. But whatever, we're fine. Things go well. Echelon is a very, very fun boss to deal with. He's got a few mechanics, and they all kind of hit like trucks. So he's got the blood that he puts on the ground, the blood torrent right there. He's going to pick someone randomly. If there's a lot of people in AoE, then in melee, you do have to watch out for where that placement is as a tank. And then he has the Stone Call where he gets all of these adds in. You do not want to damage them until they're close enough. I use Gorfine's Grasp, and you really want to AoE them down. Now, he puts a Curse of Stone on one random player, can be you. What you want to do is you want to actually stand on top of the stone adds once you have killed them, in quotation marks, to break them up. You can be decursed, so if you have a decurse in your party, have them decurse whoever gets the circle around them so they can actually move out of the way. On higher keys, that the jump slam that he does can really, really hurt. The Curse of Stone is also considered a stun, by the way, so if you're a DK and you're in trouble, you can actually use Icebound Fortitude once you are stunned and just get out of it, and it's not a problem. So here we had some DPS actually hit the Undying Stone Fiends before they were really close. What happens is when you hit them, they will actually stop and just start casting. So you want to watch out for that, because you want them as grouped up as possible, so when the Curse of Stone does go off, he slams and he breaks them all. That's the whole goal of this fight. And in higher keys, this boss is very, very tough. Now, here I'm going to move over to the second half of the floor because we're just getting too many blood torrent pools and things like that. This was not my best job positioning the tank, I will admit. And finally, we're below 5%, so just focus down him and go from there. Up next, I think, is Incinerator. We'll skip that. It doesn't really matter there for now. Almost forgot my power. Up next is a double Houndmaster pack. So you have 3 Gargans and a Houndmaster. I don't know if this pack went really, really well. I'm going to lose my Bone Shield stacks here, I think. Yeah, I did lose them. I'm actually going to use all of my movement speed, double pull them, and have all of my DPS work there. I don't know if this pack went really, really well. This is a tough pull to pull off, by the way, on all forms of content, especially once you get up to really, really higher keys. You got to watch out for the Deadly Thrusts. You got to watch out for the Collect Sins. You got to watch out for the Loyal Beast. There's a lot of things to CC here and really work with. So if you're going to do this, have your team pull off, have a CC rotation, a group CC rotation, and a kick rotation. I wasn't the leader of this party, so my auto marker thing didn't go off, so I can't be like, hey, you kick orange, you kick star, you kick this. But as you see, our team just absolutely demolished that pack, and it's a good way to save some time if you can work out the kick in the CC rotation. And then up next, we're going to pull Oros. I'm going to just pull him back here so no one goes into the Loyal Stoneborns, and then we're going to go on to the third boss. So here I'm going to do the 10% less AoE damage for because the third boss hits very, very hard, and he does have some AoE abilities, so if anyone's close to me, it's just nice. There's really not much left to kick, aside from I could have gotten an extra damage boost on the on this third boss here, kicking the bolts and volleys, but honestly, it's really not that big of a deal. So here is a couple of mechanics. The 2 casts that you got to worry about. The bolt of power or whatnot is a tank hit. The volley of power is a group hit. So the volley is by far the most important thing that you want to have a kick rotation set up around. Aside from that, you see the 4 anima fountains. When the ad does come up, what you want to do is you want to I tank them near an open container, so that way the melee DPS will just automatically gravitate. The ad will automatically gravitate towards one of the melees. Seer, the ghostly parishioner, just immediately gets sucked in, but you lose the urn or lantern or whatever it's called, and then you want to move around for this floor AoE, not exactly the fun thing in the world, and then I will reposition myself to and another one of these urns, lanterns thingies. Aside from that, this is actually one of the easiest bosses in the game. Set up a proper kick rotation for volleys. You can do it yourself and call when you don't have it, or just be like, or just set up a DPS or two and say, hey, you got first, you got second, and someone will always have it, and you can have emergencies, or you can just focus on the bolts of power, just so you have an easier time. But here, the Stoneborns can do a lot of work for you, but it's really not that bad. Things went very, very smoothly. As you can see, we still have 13 minutes on the timer, and we just have one more ad pack to deal with, and then the last boss. So here is definitely one of those instances that can be challenging at times. So Inquisitor Cigar is a mini boss where you have all of these little ads going around, these tormented souls. They stay put. You want to AoE DPS them down as fast as possible, because what happens is when he does his little his cast, I think it's a castigation cast or something, we'll see it here in a minute, they will turn into bigger mobs, these manifestations of envy, and these can really pile up on you and hurt you and the party big time. It's this Dark Communion cast right here. That's what it does. So as you see, all these tormented souls, the tormented souls do nothing. They don't hit you. They're really not a problem. So the more that you can AoE them down before Inquisitor, especially in higher keys, once you get to 15, 16, 17s, he's really difficult to just burst down, because he will do that Dark Communion cast pretty quickly. But then once all the ads are dealt with, you just DPS him down, and he's kind of a joke at that point. Really what happens with this one, the danger, is when not enough of the tormented souls got killed and you just get swarmed by those manifestation of envy ads. You really, really don't want that. And then lastly, the last boss. This guy here, it's like a truck on Tyrannical, especially in higher keys, so you really want to play him well. He's got a few things you got to worry about. Good old Lord Chamberlain. He will put a magic dot on the tank, which hurts a lot. That's something you do want to kind of work around, save defensives, externals, things like that. It's this that stigma of pride. He does a frontal with this Unleash Suffering, get out of the way. And he does do that telekinetic toss. So this here, so you see, so he actually hit our healer there. He will grab one of the statues of Sire Denathrius and throw it at a player. Once it is set and aimed, it stays there. So you really just, all you got to do is move out of the way and not have to worry about that. At 70%, he's going to do the Door of Shadows, go into the middle, do the telekinetic onslaught, bring all 4 statues in. They're going to push out like you see there. At least 4 members of your group need to soak one of these the cast that go out to the statues. They always line up with it. You can actually get close, and I did try to. I missed it there, but a tank can get 2 of them. AMZ is something really, really nice to work with, and he also does that same cast at 40%. So something to watch out for there. But aside from that, it's a rinse and repeat. He'll do that at 70 and 40%, so something to watch out for. And just make sure that you are saving some sort of, if you have a group CD like AMZ or something like that, that's something that you really, really want to work with there. Rallying Cry is good for stuff like that. You can always save your lay on hands and things like that. But aside from that, rinse and repeat fight, not that difficult, but that Stigma of Pride, this dot that you see here, it lasts for a very long time. And it really, really does hurt. And it persists after the boss is done and after you've completed the dungeon anyway. So do watch out for that. I have died to this a couple of times. And as you see, my health is going to kind of drop here a little bit. And it's just how it works. But that is how you tank Halls of Atonement. That's kind of the easiest route that I found. I hope this was helpful. If you want any help with tanking or got any questions or anything like that, I try to make these guides as neutral as possible for any and all tanks. Come down to the community Discord down below. Links down below. If you enjoy watching streams or asking me any questions live, I'm a very talkative person. Don't be shy. Come on by and say hi. Twitch link is also down below. Now, as of recording this video, we have finally hit 1,000 subs. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of the support. First big goal is hit. I'm flabbergasted by all of the kind words and all of the support. Thank you so much, everybody, for absolutely everything. Let's keep this train going. Really, let's keep on going. Let's have a lot more fun tanking in 9.2. I think 9.2 is going to be an absolute blast to be a tank in, no matter what tank you are. And aside from that, I hope you're excited for 9.2 as much as I am, and enjoy your day.